But welcome everyone to this inaugural session of the Benin Kingdom Museum Bronze Making Fellowship. Uh, Today marks the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Now the true journey started in 2022, but the next stage of this huge journey is starting today. And this journey involves your artistic talent being utilized to help bring truth, healing, and connection to people around the world. Okay. My name is Deidre Farmer-Pellman. I am the founder and executive director of the Restitution Study Group, and I'm thrilled to have you join in this vital work. You can see some of the symbols that are around me. Some of you may not have seen some of these symbols before, but you will get to know them very well as you are moving forward. Okay, so we have Joel joining the room now. I want to open the session in the spirit of reverence and purpose. And to do that, I'm honored to introduce our spiritual advisor and chaplain, Queen Mother Dr. Dolores Blakely, who will lead us in prayer. Thank you, Queen Mother.
Thanks for allowing Queen Mother to be a part of your journey. And in the spirit of our ancestors, I come before all of you. Creator of all, we thank you for bringing us together in this sacred space of learning, truth, creativity. Bless these fellows as they embark on their journey to honor the legacy of the Benin Kingdom and the ancestors who lives and sacrifices are woven into this history. We only speaking about their lives as they lived, and sacrifices are woven within this history. May their hands be guided by the divine, their hearts filled with purpose, and their spirits strengthened by the knowledge that their work is part of a greater mission to heal the world. Bless this fellowship that the Benin Kingdom Museum and all who support the transformative endeavor. May this work be a bridge that unites the past with the present and scattered with their roots. As we say, so be it. As we say, Amen. As we say, Amen. And as we say in the spiritual energy of the woman, all women. Blessings upon all of us in the deliberation and communicating with each other this time in history.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen Mother Blakely, for those powerful and inspiring words. Now I would like to share with you, let me just say that we actually have a special and honored guest joining us. And I want to introduce Prince Ovaramwin of the Benin Kingdom, who joins us to share words of encouragement and perspective as you begin this journey.
Yeah, I think it's afternoon here. Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm honored, and I'm really fired up, and I'm so much impressed with the caliber of people I see. Thank you so much. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes, I think I have so much to say. I don't know if I have to take the floor now, but
Yes.
can can I
And you can come back.
continue?
Mhm.
All right. Yes, it's a great pleasure to see that. First of all, I have to thank do I say the founder or the visionary of this group? That's Dredra. She's doing wonderfully, and I know what it is. It's a kind of commitment, and I see it as a kind of destiny too for this group to come up. What we must know, first of all, is that we talk of Benin, Benin. Yes, Benin is the name our ancestors or those people, our first, let me just put it, our ancestors in that ancient Benin kingdom were known to the whole world. But the the generic word is Edo. And that's why Edo State is like the remnant of the ancient Benin kingdom that is still intact. All others have been dismembered and they have gone various ways. But no matter how, it's just the cradle of all descendants of Benin. It looks like a concentric circles. That's how Benin looks like. The little Benin City, originally is where the king and everything happens. It's like the seat of government, and from there, every other thing goes. If we have to sit down and talk about Benin, it's so enormous, and you get to appreciate it because it was a civilization. It was a civilization. It was unfortunate that the 1897 episode came. I'm talking about the war, and that terminated everything. Terminated the growth, terminated the ingenuity, terminated the cohesion. Well, indirectly, it's a thing of sadness and joy. Because if that had not happened, maybe now we'll not be talking of Benin bronzes, because I don't see the way they will have been able to move from that ancient Benin to where they are today, particularly all over the world, and it's been talked about. Benin bronzes, in fact, is an everlasting thing. Just as the story of slavery is an everlasting thing, so it is the war of 1897. So I say they will all live beyond that. But I'm so much happy that this group is up and they can do something to appreciate our ancestors, to speak and look at what they did to our ancestors by putting them into slavery and making them to be in diaspora today. And also for the descendants, also to boost their ego, that yes, at a point in time we had some good people. Our forefathers who had their own brain too, they have their own culture. They were living very well. And if you look at all those Benin artifacts today, which are in various media, they speak volumes of ingenuity of that time. So we can just take solace in promoting it. And another thing for all of us that are descendants of that ancient Benin or Africa in extension, to come together. This time not to revenge or to retaliate, to draw from that underlying factor that our ancestors did a great deal. Yeah, it's a healing thing. And I remember one of the meetings we had the other time, we were talking about the reparation of the Benin artifacts. I'm of the opinion that all should not be returned. I can say it anywhere. Because already, like I said, concentric circles. The circles are moved to the various places. Those are occupying the regions of those circles are stakeholders. And none of them can go back to the center. So they have to have a share of it. So I believe, as Prince Oborame, the direct descendant of Oba Oborame, who was much more, how do I put it, the victim, who was more the victim of that era. But I don't feel bad, because if it has not happened, we'll not be talking of Benin bronzes all over. So the pride is not going to come into us like that. But indirectly, on the other way, we might be unhappy because of the slavery. Because the ancient Benin kingdom cannot be exonerated from slavery. Because it was a very powerful kingdom that spread up to Togo, Ghana, Badagry, and then I'm talking of when you come to Sudan and some other areas like that. So, and Badagry was a port where the slave trades embark on the slaves embark on the journey. Republic of Benin, Republique du Benin of today was also part of it. So, and the issue of slavery in ancient Benin Kingdom were in different dimensions. One is personal, one is to make, it is like a commercial thing. So in the case of the personal, every household will get slaves as assets. But one thing there is that what we call maid servant today, but it was a kind of slave. So the system at that time, once a child is born, from the day one the child is born, he's already had a slave. I'm talking of that, but that slave will be subservient, will do everything to that child until the child grows. Then when he becomes an adult, he can also add to it. So that is the system at that time. And you know, most of the Benin was really, the ancient Benin kingdom was a powerful kingdom where they already started making guns because of because of the bronze. They've had iron. They know much of smelting at that time. So they were sophisticated. So they could go into any neighboring villages and annex. And some of the people that were captured as slaves, some of them will find their way into slavery. But another thing there is this. That is the bitter side of us. But the sweet side of it is this. Those ancestors of us that were sold into slavery, that came all over to all those places, Brazil, US, and all these transatlantic relics or something like that, they all were instrumental to the development of these places, particularly England. They were all, if not for them, they would not have got powers. They would not have got, how do I put it, people to galvanize the industrial revolution of that time. So they also contributed to the development of the places that we have today as developed world. So that is another pride we have as descendants of Great Benin and even Africa in extension. So it is never a bitter thing, but what we have to do is this. Because it's our general, we need to propagate it. We need to see it grow. And then we can delude ourselves and say, yes, we have done so much for our ancestors. We have also recovered from what they have lost, and then move on. Because no matter how it is. Like there's one song those days when we were young that Peter Tosh used to sing. He said, "Don't think of where you come from. You are from an Africa, as long as you are a black man. So don't think of where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you are an African. Whether you come from Congo," like that, like that. I know some of you will understand the songs. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that it's a healing thing, and we have to showcase it, and we have to be very serious about it because it is real. I see, because we know everything about Benin is an everlasting, as long as the world is existing, Benin and the bronzes will ever be in the news, and we still hold the places they are holding, the place of esteem, the place of reference, the place of importance, because I see those artifacts as classics. Yeah, they're classics. And we have to draw from the fountain of the pride so that we can. But what I really want every one of us here to know, we are not of the same age. Some of us are younger, and some that will be far younger are still outside our coming. It is the vision we have to still pursue. And we need to do it well, need to make consultation. And for me, I think I will try as much as possible to get some of this literature that could also make us know more about the Benin Kingdom.
Yeah.
We'll have to have another section where I could talk much about the Benin and the culture, but today is not a speech-making day. It's a day of happiness. It's a day of the beginning of a long journey, a fruitful journey. Yes, that's what I mean. It's a fruitful journey. So I will just implore everybody, everyone, to take it upon us, because it is a collective responsibility. And I'm so much happy seeing the Queen Mother, and I'm telling you, I'm so much happy that it makes me feel, yes, I have my other relations somewhere that are also propagating the heritage. Yes, and I know once we get grounded, we can. What I mean when I say grounded, that is when we how do okay, when we are known more than this time, I think we'll have to see what we can do and recreate, because the major thing is recreating the heritage is what we are outside, so that our children, our descendants that may not go back to Benin can also have it, that yes, we still have it here and can showcase it. Say yes, it's a pride thing, and it's a healing thing in the sense that we are all doing well now.
Amen.
That is, yeah. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening to me, and it is my prayer that our ancestors will guide us and protect us to achieve our goals. Yes, I did not. I really had to. I did not start by introducing, because I was overwhelmed with joy within me. Yeah, so
No,
I
you
forgot
did
it.
great. And thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
yeah. So, but
for your,
I am Prince Ovorame. Yes, I'm a direct descendant of Oba Ovorame. Oba Ovorame was the king that was enthroned when in 1897, when the Benin British War occurred. Then, because they want to have influence, he was now banished to Calabar, which was the headquarters or the seat of government at that time. So because of that, he could not go back to they didn't allow him to go back to Benin for his throne. So he was there. It was like, how do I put it? I wouldn't, but they still gave him the honor, but he was not allowed. He was a king without subjects in Calabar. So the relationship I have is this. My grandfather was Uswalele. His other brother, his other brother he became the king. There were just two like that. Because in Benin tradition, the first son becomes the king.
Mm-hmm.
So, and once, in those days, once a queen mother gave birth to the heir apparent, I mean that person that is going to take over as king, she does not give birth to any other child again. That was the system at that time. So Vorame was the only son of the mother, and the son of Baiweka was the only son of the mother. Then the one that took over was Akenzwa, who was the only son of the mother. But modernity now made all other kings that came, about two that had come after those ones, to now have brothers. Those days, the king does not have brother. He's only the one. So that it could help him so much to administrate well. I mean, without biases. So I am the third generation. I'm the third filial of Obaborane. So that is my relationship. And in Benin, the kingship has been running in one family for over 600 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is how it is. That is why any person that says is a Benin prince, the question you ask is, which is your branch?
Mm-hmm.
My branch is Oborame, another branch is Eweka, another branch is Akenzwa. So as time goes on, I will make some notes on this so that all of us can have abreast of what the place, so that it could be original.
This
So
is
that is how.
fascinating. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, Your Highness.
So
And what I want to do is just we have another guest who's dropping in, and we pulled her from other things. I want to thank you for your powerful words and your insight in history, and we appreciate you being here.
thank you. Thank you so much.
We now have Esther Zosi. Esther, I see you've tuned in. Are you can you speak? Wonderful. Thank you, sister.
I hope greetings,
Greetings.
um, Your Royal Highness,
Let me just say,
Queen Mother.
Esther has been instrumental in making this project possible. It was to her that a descendant of enslavers came to discuss what he might do in reparations to atone for what his family did. Okay, I'm gonna have.
Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah, I can see you. I just had to do a mute. And
Okay.
Esther, you know, recommended that he contribute what he owes in part to us. And so that's funding this effort. So Esther, please.
Okay, thank you. Greetings, Your Royal Highness, Queen Mother, Sister Deidre, and all others who have joined today. I'm in a bit of a noisy place, so I hope that you can hear me okay. I just wanted to congratulate you for taking this step, and it's going to be a really, I'm sure, enriching journey. I think it's a really important initiative because there's been so much division and misunderstanding between us across the generations. And I think the campaign that has been initiated by the Restitution Study Group offers a unique opportunity for us to all take this healing and learning and restoration journey together, because together we are stronger. But it's important, but it's informed by our different experiences. So I'm just really pleased to be able to be a part of this and to see how things evolve. I'm not going to say too much because I'm in a public place. I wasn't expecting to come on today, but I will be listening in the background. So I just wanted to thank you all. And I really look forward to the learning and the transformation journey ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Esther. And let me just say this, you know, we when I say we, there are a few of us on this call that are just witnesses. There's two of us that are just here today as witnesses. That's Tylon Washington and Sheila Silva. And I'm sorry if I'm not saying your last name right. Silva, I should know how to say it. Along with Esther, for the past 2 years, we've been in talks with Benin Kingdom royals like Prince Overramwin and some of his cousins. And so we've gotten to know each other through these conversations and back and forth through emails. But, you know, for a long time, we spoke by Zoom on a weekly basis, right? Okay. So we know each other pretty well, and it's just a wonderful thing to have that communication open. But this effort really came about as a vision for truth. I became engaged in this campaign to expose the slave trade origin of the bronzes because there was only one museum in the world that actually told that truth. And that's significant because there are over 130 museums around the world that hold the Benin bronzes. Now, the bronzes, as the prince has made clear, are iconic treasures. There's a claim that there's 5,000, but some folks actually from the Benin Kingdom say there's as many as 10,000 that are circulating the globe. And they circulate the globe because they were removed in the same way that we were removed, and we circulate the globe. And one of the tasks of this effort is to tell the truth about how they were made and what that connection is to how we are living globally today, what it means to us to be removed from our African homelands in the same way that the bronzes have been removed from Africa. And basically to utilize this moment for healing and education. We have had challenges getting some institutions to hear us and recognize us as connected to these relics, even though our ancestors paid for them with their lives. And many of you probably know already that you can see the images that are around me, the manila up in the top. 50 manilas bought a woman, 57 bought a man, and for at least 3 centuries, we were sold in exchange for these manilas, and they were melted and recast into the bronzes that you see. Here are some examples. This is an example of a Portuguese slave trader with 2 rows of manilas, and this is an overhead. So these manilas were melted down and recast into these overheads. You have the task of, you won't be working with manilas, but you will be working with metal. And in the class, you will recreate these images, because we want to create our own museum where we tell the truth, the whole truth about the creation of these relics. And we use it as an opportunity to help us to recover from this injury of genocide. The particular genocide is called ethnocide, where we have been completely removed from our ancestral homelands. Most of us do not know our African ethnicities. And this is one vehicle, a significant vehicle for recovering what has been lost. And so that's what this effort is about. There will be DNA testing at the Benin Kingdom Museum. There will be genealogy research. There will be learning of languages and dance and song. And we trust that Prince Overamwin will play a role in helping us to reconnect with who we are, this cultural education. So this is what this effort is about. It's about love, it's about harmony, it's about justice, absolutely, but it is about healing. So with that said, I would like to take some time for us to get to know the fellows and the professor, our professor, Blake Hiltonen. And so please, we're gonna start. I'm gonna call out names if that's okay with you guys. And maybe you can give us like 2 or 3 minutes of who you are, why you're here, what attracts you, what is your connection? Do you know if you're Ado from DNA testing, your mom, your dad? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what is the work, the kind of artwork that you typically do. So we're gonna start with J-Ra, Joshua.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jira, actually it's pronounced Jira, and yeah, my connection to this is Deidre for a while has kind of been a supporter to me for like a very supportive person and a friend, and kind of has seen, I guess, my growth in like artwork and everything, and has kind of like been present to see a lot of different stages. So we kept in touch through that, and yeah, just kind of happened naturally through conversation. It was one of those things that felt aligned, so it kind of just happened that way. The type of work that I do, I'm like mainly a furniture designer, but I have a background in fine arts or performance, so there's been a bunch of different things that I do. And what I'm going to be doing with this fellowship is kind of bringing those different practices together and doing some research to make sure I'm like using the story respectfully and in a relevant way to make a design that speaks to the Benin kingdom history. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I don't know if there's any other like questions for me, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you. Donna Lindo. Unmute. Unmute. You're still muted. Let's see.
Hi, how are you? Hello,
Awesome.
everyone.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here. I would like to say how I got connected with this group of people. I actually met Deirdre in a very accidental way. I was visiting my brother and family that are basically in England, and so my brother wanted me to go to see this particular museum near where he lived in South London. And I happened to be looking at some of the African bronzes, the Benin bronzes, and there was another woman there admiring the bronzes. And it happens to be Deirdre and her daughter, who were in the middle of filming and doing work. And then I ended up becoming part of their video with sort of a candid experience of being asked about the bronzes and my understanding of what they are. And that was our introduction. And somehow we were able to keep in touch when we both returned to New York, because we were both from New York as well. So it was very interesting how that began. And because I felt Deirdre seemingly was very warm and genuine and open, we really made a connection. And so we kept in touch. back in New York, and I spent some time with her, and she explained about her project, and she learned about the fact that I'm an artist as well, that I have a background in fine arts. I also have a background in education, and I'm also from the Caribbean, Jamaican to be specific. And I also, in the end, did a DNA test based on Deirdre's suggestion. She gave me an ancestry kit. I've been wanting to do it, but I hesitated. I had a different kit, which I didn't actually use. So I ended up using the ancestry kit and found out that I am actually 22% Benin and Togo. And that is the highest percentage of ethnicity I have in African culture. But I also have, as I've found out, Nigerian and Cameroonian and Southern and Central Bantu people and some other things, along with some European strains. So, interestingly enough, the highest European piece I have is Portuguese. I'm 7% Portuguese. So that's interesting because I visited Portugal on the same trip that I had met Deirdre. I went on to visit Portugal on that trip and learned a little bit more about what happened in terms of the Portuguese being the founders of slavery, starting it, and the last to pull out of slavery. So there was an African man who was giving an alternative tour about monuments within Lisbon. And I really was amazed at the hidden information. So that was really, for me, something that I always do when I travel. I try to find the African connection in those countries, especially European countries, to see how those countries were involved with the slave trade, etc. So I'm very interested in this project because as a fine artist, I studied painting and basically every kind of art form, including sculpture. I'm also an educator and art teacher for K to 12. And I have really a strong interest in really using the information I've gained through my own research on African art, etc., and really seeing how this can be applied to my own practice, but also with the involvement of this project, I would love to be able to collaborate and see how what I have to contribute can be a source for the development and the sort of building of this project that Deirdre has in mind. So I'm very happy to be involved in this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Donna. Joel Newman.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Like some of you have said here, I am very honored to be among such a group of artists with a purpose in mind. I've had some health issues for the past couple of years, so I've been somewhat inactive with all my creativity. I'm a potter. I do yoga. There's several other things that I do. So I find the timing to be really good right now. Now that I'm feeling stronger, feeling better, and want to return to the artist community. So the timing was just perfect. I got a hold of Deidre, and so I am here to learn. I am here to assist, and I am here to for an experience which I don't really know of, but I will once the project is over. I was born in Haiti, so I am Haitian American. I came here from an early age. I think I was 9, and my life has predominantly been, United States oriented. But to um, to bring together to full circle what some of you have said, the country where I was born, Haiti, actually happens to be the longest victim of Western colonization because it's very apparent. If you look at the demographic in the country, what's going on there. It's very complicated. It's very complicated, and the only way to bring the truth out is to really speak about it. And because of the establishment here in the United States are not really doing the educations that's necessary to raise responsible, compassionate adults. So it's up to the artist community for us to come together and put out the pieces that have been left out.
Absolutely.
And thank you. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Joel. Next person is Sabina Janae Pellman.
Hi, everyone.
Oh,
I feel like I probably met most of you, but right now I'm an administrator of African American art at Swan Galleries, and we're the first auction house that features African American art and helped to establish a lot of Black artists market. I'm an artist myself. I studied at Parsons and I did art administration at NYU, master's degree. My art revolves around, or it's kind of inspired by my mom's research and her role as an activist. I've learned so much about my history, of course, being in a house with you. So it's really exciting that now my mom is embarking on this research that is so deeply intertwined with art and museums, which just so happens to be the route that I've taken, the institutional route. So I'm very excited to be a part of this project and to play a role in connecting with institutions around the globe, and getting to create art and learn this technique is very exciting. So that's all.
Thank you, Sabina. And Antonio Isupirio Pereira Jr. And please pronounce it all properly so that I can hear it and learn it. Thank you.
That's completely fine, my dear. Nobody can pronounce my name right here.
so what?
Please say it.
How do we say in Portuguese is Antonio Isupério?
Isupério.
That's how I say in Portuguese, but that's completely fine. So I'm here because I have a connection with Queen Mother. For a couple of years, we have been made some trouble at the United Nations. And one of the troubles that she invited me to do was to call out about the Benin work that Deidre is doing in Geneva. It was last year, right, Queen? I think in the Forum of Afro-Descents. So, and then I got to know, and I think this project really aligns with everything that I believe as a human rights defender from the biggest diaspora in the planet, being son of a domestic labor. And so I think historical reparation, and especially when can accomplish so many layers as the other works. So it's a huge pleasure to me to be here in this group. I'm also an architect, so we can, and I'm kind of have experience in 2D scanning. I have a big experience 2D scanning architecture, but for objects, it's going to be the first time. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Antonio. And now we have Professor Blake Hiltonen. Okay.
Yeah, hi. Tremendous honor to be invited to do this. So thank you so much. The way that Deidre and I met was also by chance. I was doing some installation and I overheard my boss Chris talking with her, and heard Chris say something along the lines of like, "Oh, you should really talk to Blake. He's our resident metals expert." And this kicked off a conversation about the Benin bronzes. I am associate professor at Pratt University, Pratt Institute, and have been studying and making bronze sculptures for 20 years. My BFA is in sculpture and art history from the Massachusetts College of Art. and my MFA is from the Rhode Island School of Design in Providence, Rhode Island. I believe that the RISD Museum has a Benin bronze. I'm pretty sure so. The classes that I teach at Pratt are mold making and casting and foundry. And so I have been doing this for a long time and am tremendously interested in sculpture in general, specifically how sculpture is able to both represent a culture and a time and the values of a society, and also how it can be used as propaganda. And something that we talk about in my classes is what public sculptures accomplish, what they signify, and what is the appropriate way to deal with problematic objects. So this is it's been a very interesting conversation for me to have with my foundry students as I introduced to them the idea of the Benin bronzes. And it's really complicated, and people really don't come down on one side or the other necessarily. Even the young my young students, oftentimes they are conflicted, feeling simultaneously like these works should be returned and that they should stay. So it's wonderful for me to be involved in the conversation, and I'm very much looking forward to teaching you all the process. I am of Finnish heritage, so really I'm coming to this whole thing from a love of sculpture, a love of craft, and a love of art making. So that's what we're gonna do. I can't wait. We'll get into mold making, casting. We'll get into all of the techniques behind doing the actual foundry work and pouring the metal, and then how to work the metal objects after they've been cast, and how to finish things. So really looking forward to it. And again, thank you so much for the invitation. I really can't wait. This is excellent.
Thank you, Blake. And Blake is being a little bit on the modest side, because we've been talking about this class for, I don't know, it must be 2 years, right? For 2 years now.
Yeah, we've been
It's
talking
been in planning, and it's a
Yeah.
process. It really has been a process. I thank you all for sharing your stories and your passions. And it's clear that we have an extraordinary group of people here, right? So we're going to do some justice is what's going to happen, is what I anticipate. So now I'd like to just provide an overview of the program and what you can expect in the weeks ahead, a little bit more than what Blake has provided, but Blake has gave you the essence of what you're going to be doing. So through this fellowship, you will be recreating iconic Benin bronzes to help to tell the story of the kingdom's brilliance and the tragic history that connects these relics to the transatlantic slave trade and the ethnocide of millions of Afro descendants. Okay, so our goal is to educate and to heal. Essentially, as my daughter would say, save the world with beauty is the bottom line, right? Okay. So 4 of you fellows will participate in hands-on classes at a studio in Brooklyn, New York, and 1 fellow, Jira, will work independently from London. where he is developing a bronze and a related performance art piece, okay? And so over the course of the program, you'll create individual Benin bronze inspired work and collaborate on a replica of a bronze head, okay? This is this type of thing here, okay? This will involve some 3D scanning, and that'll take place at a stakeholder museum. One museum has invited us in to scan, but we have to coordinate with them. But Professor Hiltonen has made it clear that you guys are going to learn it the old-fashioned way as well. Okay, molding with your hands, and you know, he's reminded me that, boy, people were doing this in the Middle Ages, so you know, we don't need a scanner. We don't need any of this technology. They did just fine back then, and so you'll mold and make this the bronze sculpture as well.
Yeah,
So-
Deidre, can I just jump in
Yes.
real quick?
Mhm.
There was a whole age of humanity called the Bronze Age. So this is, you know, it brought in agriculture, city-states. This technology is old, and I love it for its history. So we're going to be doing this, like Deidre said, in the kind of old school way. There are ways that, you know, with new technologies that we can make this stuff go faster. But I like to approach this both from, you know, the ancient sort of tradition of bronze casting, while also introducing new materials that are a little bit more expensive, but can make things go a little bit faster. But you'll get an education in sort of new school and old school ways to do this.
Thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
So I just want to just a couple more things, and we're going to be closing out. So I do want to say that the works that you create will become a part of the permanent collection of the Planned Benin Kingdom Museum in Harlem, and that will be the first in a global franchise for cultural education and sustainable development. In other words, institutions that will be owned by the global Afro-descendant community. Also, during the existence of that museum, and we will also, and now while it's being developed, the bronzes will tour the world in pop-up exhibitions and art events. So our website will give information on how to get information to exhibit the bronzes, to make a request, and so sounds like a commercial because it is, but the bottom line is that we are going to go real time right after these bronzes are created, okay? Now, I do want to mention one thing. I believe it's been said a little bit earlier today, probably by me, that the program was made possible by a reparations payment from an heir of an enslaver who built wealth on the backs of kidnapped and trafficked African people. And I just want to once again give thanks to Esther Zose, who made sure that we were considered as recipients of this historic reparations payment. And each one of you will actually be paid reparations from this. In other words, you will get a stipend from this budget that was this payment, this contribution that was paid by this slave money heir. But Professor Hiltonen's payment for this class will not come from this reparations payment. That is a separate fund. It is not reparations, okay? So I just want you all to know that. And before we close, I want to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions they might have about this process. Anything, any questions?
You guys laid it out fairly well, beginning to end. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so if there are no questions, then I'm going to thank you all again. Wish you all well, and I'm going to invite Queen Mother in to do a closing prayer.
Yes, Queen Mother is here. In the spirit of our ancestors, I come before you again. And in that spirit, in hearing the Prince by Dagari, which I have been installed from the Africans of the diaspora as the Queen Mother. Many kingdoms I've been installed also is in Ife. And as I say, the goddess of love. But as we focus and hear from you, Your Excellency, Your Royal Highness, about the bronze and what it means to civilization of Mother Africa. Queen Mother, thank you for embracing all of us, Your Royal Highness the Prince, and reflecting and seeing who you are the generation that will echo the change of our ancestors. So to have you and Deidre, which she carries the mission, the divine force has been given to her as a revolutionary spirit of us returning home to the soil of Mother Africa through the culture, through the art of a culture, through education, and to roll out this divine plan for all of us holistically, and the historical stories to be told from the Royal Court of Harlem. What a day it is. And with that, I say to all of you, Divine Creator, as we close this gathering, we ask for your blessings on each participant here. May their path be illuminated by wisdom, their hands empowered by skill, and their hearts strengthened by the mission they carry. Guide them as they bring light to forgotten stories and hold to those still searching for connections of stories. We say, Amen, Amen, women, so be it. Blessings to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And stay on this sacred path of light. Stay on it. Stay on it.
Thank you, Queen Mother. Beautiful. Thank you all. And we'll be in touch real soon. Check your
Bye-bye,
email.
everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Blessings.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you all soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.